podcast character designs done by Demon Artie. Be sure to follow her over on Twitter at ArtieDemon. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications.
Ah, what's happening? The bud is sucking us in!
You're still with me? If that didn't scare you away, let's go ahead and talk about Magical Girl Friendship Squad. This is some thing, and it's a show, it's a thing that Sci-Fi is putting out there. There was a pilot that came out months ago, and it looked awful. It looked worse than this, which is hard to even imagine. That was like the kind of like the proof of concept, and this is the actual show that's going to air on Sci-Fi Channel. This is their YouTube channel, so you can watch the first episode. Just go to the Sci-Fi, and it's on there. And it's a mess. It's gross. Gross in every aspect. It's ugly in every aspect you can think of. The art's ugly. The animation is ugly. Characters themselves are ugly on the inside. They're always talking. They're being very vulgar about things. You know, always sleeping with everybody. Just making all these crude sex comments. It's just a gross show altogether. And again, like then that opener, you know, putting your finger inside of a raccoon, or not a raccoon, a red panda's butthole. Who thinks of these things and thinks, oh man, that's going to be just so funny if buttholes are just so funny. I'm not going to review this series. I have way too many other shows to watch, but this was just something that kept popping up on Twitter. So you know what? I'll check it out. And yeah, it's as gross as you can possibly imagine. But we open up and we see our two heroes. You can't see the air quotes, but our heroes of the show. And they're getting off the subway and we see some dude getting mugged or robbed. And of course, it's some goofy white guy with red hair and I love New York, always a tourist. Instead of helping the guy or feeling bad for him, they just kind of make fun of him. This is the kind of show we're at. It's going to be very the feminist point of view, the feminist twist. What if this was a POC, a person of color that got robbed, or the mugger was a POC? Yeah, right. Never in a million years. It's a goofy white guy, so he deserves to be robbed. And we're not going to help him. We're not going to feel bad for him. We're going to make fun of him. That's just ridiculous. There's no humanity. These heroes have no humanity. They honest to God only care about themselves. That's the thing. This is supposed to be like a parody, right? When you make your characters unlikable from the first 3 seconds of the show and show that they're actually bad people, how do you care about them? How do you go on the rest of the show wanting them to be heroes? Is this how adult comedies are now? There's no actual real heroes. But here we go. The first 5 seconds, I'm already checked out. I can't believe it. So they're walking and talking. Apparently, one of the girls got fired or laid off. Alex and Daisy? I think Alex is the girl with the glasses. She got fired from her job and they're like making ideas. And this is the crux of this whole show is dated references. Unicorn toast? How long ago was that? You can't rely on those kinds of internet flash in the pan type funny things that weren't even funny to begin with. So when your show finally airs, it's already old and people don't even get the reference. I guess she worked at some food thing and it's one of those, it's that whole, girl, you are too good for that place. Girl, your ideas are the best. Girl, and that's how they talk. And because she was going to make a rainbow hot dogs or something stupid. It was going to be the next a unicorn bagel toast or something. Oh my God, just ridiculous. So they just go around talking about how great it is to be awesome and being yourself, even though you got fired, but whatever. And just gross dialogue. Oh, now you need to get over your job monogamy. Okay, so having one job is a bad thing. Oh, you should have different jobs like the way I sleep around. Like these two people, the girl with the glasses seems to be more reasonable. And the other one is just insufferable. Oh my goodness, she's just an awful human being. So it's hard to talk about the show because it's so stupid. The other girl talks about how she doesn't have a job either. So they're both jobless. And she got fired from her last job because she tweeted. They talk about tweeting and Instagram and TikTok. And she tweeted out that the green M&M could get it. And she makes like the finger motion, like a sexual finger motion. Remember the green M&M, how it was like the girl M&M and she was kind of sexy? Remember that from 6 months to a year ago? So this girl's all about like sex and stuff. And it's super gross. And then she goes, oh, then I had this other job where I was editing for this podcast for these 4 white dudes. Will there ever be a negative thing said about a person of color in this? I am a person of color. I'm Hispanic, and I would love for them to make a joke about an Hispanic person. I think that would be wonderful. It will never happen. Not in this show. The only jokes are going to be made against straight white males. And oh yeah, until they're editing their podcast about what's it, reviewing airport bathrooms. Why would they hire you? You anyone who sits down with this I believe this one's Daisy, with Daisy and talks with her for 10 minutes, be like, oh my goodness, I don't want to give you money for anything because you're irresponsible, you're vulgar, and you don't seem to be very smart. Oh, but they fired me too because I tweeted out that Amelia Earhart can get it. I guess she would use their Twitter account, their official Twitter, and post things like that. Well, duh, you're going to get fired. And then there's lots of little drops of like, oh, social commentary. Oh, they wouldn't let me work for more than 20 hours because after that they have to give me benefits. They just walk around with Biden and Harris t-shirts too. Why don't they? This is the type of comedy. It's quick, it's fast, it's not very funny, and isn't it just funny how things happen today? And like, they wouldn't give me health insurance. Isn't that just funny? If that's your type of comedy, oh my, you're gonna love this show. You're gonna absolutely love every moment of it. For the normal people, this is not very funny at all. So they're like, but don't worry, the next big thing is gonna be right around the corner. Man, what did you believe it? Around the corner is a magical red panda. So this thing's gonna choose these 2 girls to be like their guardians of like the universe or whatever because they're like awesome apparently. This little panda chick should have done some more research on these girls because they honest to God only care about themselves. They're not gonna care about saving anybody. Also, if you notice in the clips that this walk cycle, they seem to be leaning back a little bit, like their legs aren't really connected to the rest of their bodies. This is the type of animation that's throughout this, and it gets really bad later on where it's very choppy and it doesn't, like, the art styles don't match the rest of it. That they need to get their jobs because rent's due, and apparently it's due tomorrow and they don't have any money. So even if they did get a job, how are they going to pay it anyways? But aren't landlords the worst? How dare they expect money for me to live in in one of their buildings? That's just awful. I guess the landlord's name is Lulu, and they don't want to pay her because she's just awful. Then she's like, you know what? I want her to try me because I watched John Wick 2, and I'm gonna feel like a badass, and I'm gonna play this clip.
And I'm fired up. Ha! Kick, 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 Chun-Li. Oh, I love that movie.
Kick, 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 Chun-Li. You know how when Chun-Li puts her fists together after she wins and does the little bow thing? This is embarrassing. Oh my god, it's embarrassing. Then they make John Wick 2 things like, oh, I killed 3 guys with a pencil. Oh, if you mess with my dog, I'm gonna kill you. And this girl's constantly flipping people off. She flips off her friend here as a sign of your good job, because they do it later on in the episode when they're fighting together, when you get their magic powers. So he flips off her own friend. So I don't know, it means a good thing. I've never flipped off my own friends as a turn of endearment. Maybe if they did something stupid and they're being a jackass, yes, but not all the time like this girl does. So they're walking, I need to get a job that's close by and it's not that far of a walk, and there's a big help wanted sign right there. These visual gags fall flat because they have so many of these mini cut references about John Wick, the green M&M, Chun-Li, all those kinds of things. So these visual gags fall super flat. But they're like, oh yeah, let's work here because it's the local coffee shop. Then the red panda chick's like, oh yes, these are going to be her champions, because she heard them talking about killing 3 guys doing the John Wick stuff. So she thought they were talking about being actual warriors. Okay, that is one of those misunderstandings. But wouldn't she have wanted to follow these girls around a little bit more to see if they were actual warriors instead of just meeting them for 5 seconds? We get the bad guy, and who would have guessed? He's a white guy. White guys are bad guys. But he's super, I don't know, James from Pokemon, but even worse, right? He's scanning where the energy spike is, because where the crater is. So this panda lady's like a goddess or something. Okay, whatever. Then we get this other character, which I'm assuming is going to be a reoccurring character, because we see her twice and they give her a line here. She's like, oh wow, I wish I could stare at people and say weird things as a job. Oh well, I guess I'll go back to being an attorney. Oh, time to go ruin people's lives. That's a joke or what? Are we supposed to not like this character? We don't even know anything about her. They get into the coffee shop, and then we get some more of this just like random dialogue that you would expect in a like a sitcom. But since this is supposed to be like a magical, it just doesn't go anywhere because we don't care. Yeah, I'm gonna like work here, and man, you could give me so many free coffees. Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it have been nice if the girl with the glasses would have been more like, no, I'm not going to give you free drinks because I'm going to get fired again. I need to keep this job. Maybe after a little bit, I can maybe get some freebies, but she's like totally on board with just giving her free drinks all the time. And then I could talk to this coffee guy, and he's supposed to be super cute. I guess it's not drawn horribly, but whatever. I guess the girl has a crush on this guy, and oh no, you're not gonna be able to talk to him. What's he gonna be doing? I guess, and she's trying to just imagine the things that he's studying, even though you can see on there something like tax something, whatever it is, and like, oh, maybe he's like studying organic beekeeping or something, just this off the wall things that is just ugh. Oh, remember the one time he smiled at me, but he was just like getting something for his coffee, and he didn't really. This is a smile. This is like holding in a fart face. God, it's so ugly. But then she's like, oh yeah, I definitely want, I'm going to want to work here because it's good, you know, if I could talk to this guy and get to know him. I guess that's nice, but you need money so you have somewhere to live is more important. Some barista walks up to them and talks to the one girl. Oh, hey, how's it going? And then she's kind of embarrassed. Her friend's like, oh, isn't it kind of weird to come here when you've grinded beans with everyone? What I don't get is they talk about sex and stuff all the time, and they cuss in this show too. So why not just say, oh, when you slept with everyone, grinding beans. So she literally had sex with everyone in this building. That's gross. I don't care. People do not live your life that way, and this person isn't cool for doing that. Just you can live that way, but I wouldn't suggest it. It's just nasty. So she banged everyone here except for, I guess, the guy. So they start talking to the girl behind the counter, and again, she slept with her too because that's what she does. She just sleeps with everybody. And it's like, oh, we saw that help wanted sign, and we want to work here, and oh, I used to work at this, again, startups. Has anyone even said the word startup in the last 6 months? But she's like, oh yeah, I'm really into like, you know, the food things and everything, you know, like CBD lattes. They talk a lot about CBD, whatever, that if it's legal in your state and that's what you want to do, whatever. But it's funny because they, later on in the episode, they kind of put it down in a weird backwards kind of way, but whatever. She's like, do you have any barista experience? No, I don't. Well, you at least need to have 3 years of experience. And, well, isn't it stupid to have to get a job when you need experience, but you can't get the job because you don't have experience? That joke. Okay. So you can't be a barista because you need training as a barista, but you can't do that unless you're already a barista, and you have to be born a barista. God, this joke's not funny. Then we get back to like the bad guy who's kind of like, I don't know, Sephiroth and a vampire mixed together. He's just super weird. He's either talking to someone or he's recording something in his watch. I'm assuming he's talking to someone, and he's like, oh, I sense the energy here, and I need permission to like drain the energy from these people because that's what these evil people do. And then he looks into the window. I thought, oh, he's scoping out the chick because she's pretty hot. But no, he wants the vegan muffins, and look at his big old little plumpy butt. Okay, whatever. The girls leave, and they get back to their apartment building. And of course, the evil apartment lady is a white lady, of course. Every bad guy gonna be a white person? is that a guarantee? Oh, hey, girls. Do you have the rent money? Because if you don't, I'm gonna kick you out. And this is the girl with the glasses is like, you know, the first is tomorrow, so we'll have it by then, which is the right thing. If it's due on the first, it's due on the first. Daisy just says, yeah, get off, and she cusses. I don't want to play the clip, but she says basically, get off our D word, and starts flipping her off and like yelling at her. You know, they could just kick you out right then and there. I'm not gonna put up with that. And then her friend's trying to pull her back, like, hey, shut the hell up, you're gonna get us in trouble. But she keeps like flipping her off and everything. And, well, you better have that money before I'm gonna put an eviction notice on your door when my son here fixes my printer. And of course, he's a dopey white fat guy. They get back to their apartment, which is oddly, this food on the table is oddly drawn well, even though it's like garbage. It's like they took time to draw this, and everything else looks like garbage. And that red panda thing is there, and it starts talking, and they're not really all that freaked out about a talking panda. But they're like, oh, did you microdose me without asking me again? So your friend drugged you in the past? How's that funny? This lady is not your friend. So this thing is talking about how she chose them to be their warriors and everything. And she's like, here, they're going to like call, they tried to call, like, they want to call animal control, whatever. Yes, I have a talking panda in my room. I need you to be inside of me, and then all the knowledge will be known to you. And let's just tell them there's its little butthole. Remember this scene from the beginning of the review? It sucks their fingers in, so their fingers go inside of its butthole. I mean, who pitches that? How does that idea go into your brain? Just like you're thinking of stories and characters. How am I gonna? I want people to be engaged. I want them to laugh. This is just super gross. I hope no one ever has the misfortune of sticking their finger into an animal's butthole. I don't even. So by putting your finger in here, it gives them a visual thing of what she's talking about. Oh, I created this whole universe and everything in it. And there's a bunch of people like me. Of course, they're all women and they're all people of color. So they're the creators of all things and all. So basically, they're the gods of all these universes. But there's these evil people, and of course, it's this. Lighter skinned fellow, and we don't see the other bad guys in the background because they're like in shadow. But I'm assuming they're all going to be white. If there is a person of color who's a bad guy in the show, I will be shocked. So they just take their finger out, and you can see that it's stinky because their fingers were up its butthole. It's just super gross. And the one lady's trying to get on the internet. Oh, man, the Wi-Fi isn't working. Are you using our neighbor's Wi-Fi that says if you use their Wi-Fi again, they'll turn it off? Can you believe it? They turned it off. And they jammed their fingers back in the butthole. To tell more of the story, basically the bad guys are draining the earth of all its power, and they need you to stop it. I guess she shoved her whole hand up there? I can't believe I'm talking so much about shoving your hand up a red panda's butthole. And pulls her glasses out, and it's covered in goop. So is that its feces? So she has a magical red panda poop on her hand, and then she's like, "Oh, but I'll give you guys magical powers to fight this." Yeah, magical powers. F yeah. Oh, that's cool. She put her glasses on. There's still magic sparkle poop on it, so she has it on her face. Oh yeah, cool. Can we make $1 million? How is that a superpower? You freaking idiot. She's like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, oh, so anyways, what's your name? Oh, my name is Isis. And of course, oh, that name's not good anymore. It'd be nice for her to explain to her why that name isn't necessarily good anymore, because it's, again, the Egyptian goddess, but of course, ISIS is a terrorist group, which no one has even really talked about again in the last 6 months. You have to pick a different name. Oh, I'll use my name, my real name. And then her eyeballs go all weird. Her name is Nut. Like, you're gonna nut? Oh, that's so funny. Another sex thing. Then she's like, okay, you need to pick your items to, it's talking about this. You pick your personal items, and that's the thing you're gonna hold, and that's gonna be able to unlock your power. You know, magic girls have card captor. She had her the little key, the cloud key thing, stuff like that. Sailor Moon, they had the little stat thing with the moon symbol on it, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I know what to do. I'm gonna choose my birth control, so I remember to take it. Okay. Oh, of course I'm gonna choose my bong that looks like Tom Selleck. My bong that looks like Tom Selleck. Okay, so she enchants these items to give them the superpowers. And she's like, oh, you guys need to defend the universe now. Wait a minute. We don't want to do that. You can just do it yourself. Then she finally cleans her glasses, which is good because they were covered in freaking red panda poop. Why can't you just do it? Aren't you some kind of god? On this plane of existence, my powers are limited. And if you don't do it, then everyone you know is going to die. Of course that's going to happen. Ever heard of climate change? Okay, whatever. So they're gonna okay, we're gonna just call animal control from the coffee shop. They go in the coffee shop and everyone's passed out. Hey, what's going on in here? Then that one barista girl turns into a monster.
Chill. Wait, you got possessed by a disgusting monster after we were doing it yesterday, right?
And some of the worst animation I've ever seen. I mean, this makes She-Ra look like freaking Don Bluth, okay? This is awful. And it doesn't match the rest of the animation. See the way she moves and everything? Again, this is a very Sailor Moon type enemy. And she's a CBD lady. And so she has her hair looks like marijuana. She spiked everyone's drink, and that's made everyone all lethargic and tired. So CBD bad. So it's this dark crystal, again, very, very Sailor Moonish. This dark evil crystal is going to suck their life essences or whatever. Then once it's all done, they're going to die. And then the panda's like, yeah, she gets this off this. Once this crystal leaves this plane of existence, these people die. We didn't think you were serious. Okay, you girls need to transform. Here's your magical items. Then we get the transformation sequence. They're wearing, in the original pilot, their costumes were really weird looking. These ones are very Kill la Kill. And if this was animated better and these girls looked better, this might be an actual better scene. So there they go. Here's their butts, and then they got, their chest, and they're spinning around doing it, and they dab. It's again, if the character designs were better, this would be a better scene, but they're just not, it's not drawn very well. Draw 2 circles on a piece of paper and 2 dots. There you go. There's boobs and nipples. That's the level of artistry here. They're like, oh my God, what are we wearing? And we look like strippers or whatever. And then like, oh, I thought it was pretty great looking. Here, I'm going to put on a jacket. So she puts like on a big poofy jacket and I was wearing like a trash bag. Here's the thing. This girl's like, sleeps with everybody that she meets. You think she wouldn't care about wearing clothes like this? But so what's the idea here? I don't want people to look at me sexually, but I also want to sleep with everyone. So what's going on here? Wouldn't it have been great if she would have loved this costume and the other girl didn't because she's more like straight-laced? Okay, whatever. So the fight scene happens, and we get about 3 seconds.
Hey, buddy, why so steamed?
Whole milk?
Of okay animation. So they don't use any powers. She shakes at the coffee or the creamer thingy and like shoots it at the lady. And the other girl like runs up behind her. Wouldn't it have been better? This is how I would have done a first transformation scene fight. What do you mean? I can fight? Then they start punching and they're really strong. Oh, wow, I'm actually really strong. And it should have been more of a goofy, figuring out my powers kind of fight. No, they like automatically know how to be badasses right away. It's just stupid. I don't know another way to explain it. It's just bad storytelling. So they're going around, they're kind of beating up this girl and like slamming her around and everything and making really stupid puns and comments. Some guy's like, hey, can you watch my laptop? So they're fighting this giant monster and he doesn't even say anything. Oh yeah, and then she just like throws it and like chops the top of this lady's head off. Oh, CBLs, whatever the hell, has amazing regenerative properties and like she can grow back. Okay. So they're gonna keep fighting, and it's animated very, very crappily. And she's like, "Oh, you need to take your magic item, and then you got to say the magic words." So she turns her bong into like a kind of like a keyblade mace looking thing, and the other girls, "Oh, you need to say your magic word." And then since it's birth control, it like shoots a puberty ray. See, the other girls was a weapon where you can like break someone's, so you can give people puberty. So she gets a bunch of pimples. Oh no, I think I'm getting my period. So she gets like menstrual cramps. Ladies, if any women are out there watching this, do you enjoy this type of comedy? Do you think that's funny to give her period cramps? Is that a funny thing for you? I don't know. So they're beating her up, and then they hit her with the this animation is awful. God, it's awful. So they're fighting again. It looks like garbage. And they're kind of knocking her around, and then she finally gets one final blow with her mace, and it just kills her. It should have been a little more dramatic than that. I honestly didn't think she was dead. I'm like, well, I guess she's dead. They knock her out near that coffee guy that girl had a crush on. So they all thank him for doing a great job. Oh, doesn't it make you so mad when all the men get all the credit when it was the ladies that did it? But this guy's not a bad guy. Like, honestly, they should have made it to where it was like one of the jerks or whatever. That lawyer lady's like, oh, take my bra. So she's going to like take her clothes off for this guy. Okay, what? So they're like, oh, is this body going to disappear? Oh no, you have to dispose of the body yourself. So they have to hack her into pieces and jam her down a garbage disposal. Gross. Super gross. I'm like, oh man, what a terrible day. Then the lady's knocking on the door, she wants her rent. So it's the next day. So they chopped up, that took all night. So we don't see the transition here. So it seemed like this was mid-afternoon. So the lady shows up, I need my rent, or are you too busy on Instagram and going to Facebook? Like she names up every social media thing. Then her son's there, and he just is he supposed to be mentally developed? Like is he supposed to be on the spectrum or something? Because what's the point? Why did she even bring him along? Oh, then she starts like sweating, like nervous sweat beads, but it's animated horribly. Oh, we were going to pay you, but then like the garbage disposal backed up. And you need to fix that because I don't have to call the 511. I don't know if there's some number you can call when landlords don't fix things. No, I wouldn't want to report you. Well, I'd be like, you still owe me rent. You just told me about this problem, so I'll get a plumber. Where's my rent money? So you think you can extort a landlord into not paying your rent because something broke? And this is the first. I can understand if this was an ongoing problem and the landlord is not fixing your stuff. Yes, there is legal recourse for that. But you just reported this. That doesn't mean you don't get to pay rent. What is the deal with this stupid show? So like, oh yeah, so they like get away with not paying rent. High five. Then the panda's like smells like really bad because she has to eat bamboo. And they're like, oh, I have a specific bamboo diet and you guys need to buy me this special food. And they're like, well, what are you going to pay any rent yourself or any utilities? She's like, no, I'm just a panda. You got to take care of me. Oh, no, I ain't going to do that. And this stuff ain't cheap. That special kitty litter he made us buy was really expensive. Whoa, when did that happen? So they got turned into the magical girls. They killed the monster, chopped it up, put it in the garbage disposal. When did she make them buy this special kitty litter? I'm thinking there was a goof up with the script here because that didn't happen. But yeah, that's the end of this thing. I'm not gonna watch this whole series or anything. I'm not gonna do anything like that because it's just whatever. I just saw that it was on. I have way too many other shows to watch. But if tell me if you like this. Especially, I want to ask my female audience. Do you like these types of characters and female representation like this? I don't know. I just think it's gross and disgusting. I don't like these characters. They're not likable. I don't want to see them win. I don't want them to see them be heroes because they honestly seem like they just want to cheat their way out of having to pay rent. That seems to be their main goal in life. But yeah, whatever. That's the end of Magical Girl Friendship Squad, episode 1.
Can barely take care of ourselves.
I used a W-2 as a pad last week.
Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content,